Welcome to IOI Insider, the Wrath season reveal. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Said it already. My name's Travis. I'm joined by this guy,
My name is Clemens, and I'm joined by this guy.
Travis, and I'm joined by Clemens. We are live from IO Interactive in Copenhagen for the next hour to talk about some exciting updates coming to the game next week,
Yes.
where
already.
we have a new season starting, the final season of our 7 Deadly Sins campaign. As I said, we are live. Of course, we are checking Twitch chat to make sure
Hello,
everyone
chat.
can see us,
Hello.
giving everyone chance to unleash their wrath. The table's too heavy to flip, but we would want to do it otherwise. We're excited to share some upcoming news with you about what's happening in the game. Talk about the new content that's coming with Wrath.
Yes.
When the season starts, what you can expect. We've got some other updates about what's coming up in the rest of the season. Just a small teaser before we reveal the full seasonal content on October 26th next week.
Tuesday already.
We have some updates about featured contracts, what's new in the game, how they were chosen, things like that. And of course, we'll end the stream by taking your questions as well. We did put out a small little tease about the season and what there is, and there was Dartmoor. It was nighttime.
Ooh.
Some of the windows looked like they were boarded up. What's going on there? Lots to get through. Lots of excitement about the dramatic conclusion to the 7 Deadly Sins campaign. But Clemens, but take it back.
Take it back. Where did it all begin?
Where did it begin? We want to just take a little moment to talk about the 7 Deadly Sins. It's been a fantastic journey that we've been on since, I think it was April when we released the first one. And we've released a lot of content in this campaign, in this collection. We're wrapping it up fantastically with Wrath.
Yes.
Going out with a bang.
Definitely.
To really put a bridge on it. And I think it's fantastic that we've seen over time how I remember when we had this image and it was just greed at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we obviously over time, roughly every 4 to 6 weeks, we added a new season, we added new content. Most of them you can see here are a new suit with new unlocks. There's been new content, new contracts to play. And we've done some really cool things.
We've done really cool things.
When we look at them here, right?
And they've all been, I think that one strength of the 7 Deadly Sins are they're so unique in their own way, each of them.
Yeah.
And as you will see soon with the season of Wrath, it's the same thing with that. So we are very pushing the limits and the creativity for the team to do really cool stuff within this set theme of a 7 Deadly Sin. We have the gluttony where you had to feed the pig. We had the envy where you were fighting against a rival assassin.
Yep.
The lust was about lust, not lost. It sounded like I said lost. The lust was about this secret admirer. You had the sloth. You couldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
Pride was about you being too proud. And then greed was, of course, about money
and
coins.
So along the way, we've done, as you said, different things. And I think it's fair to say that some of the unique stuff, like the lust escalation was, I think, it was the first one that was just one stage.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it was sort of a non-escalation in a way, where it was just one stage. We, of course, had, like you said, where we couldn't move. We had the vitality meter in Sloth.
Yeah.
Which was, again, the live team feeling really confident, really pushing the boundaries of how can we really adapt this new content to make it really interesting to play.
We actually had one of the level designers as a guest on the extra stream. Victor Rasmussen was here talking about how they implemented this and how they had to change the aspect of some of the designs of the level in Dartmoor, which was really cool to hear. So you can go back and listen to that if you want to hear more about the vitality meter and the process. We also had Toge talk about lust and gluttony.
Yes, we did. So we need to talk about envy, which was the last season, the last sin.
Yeah.
That was also great because it was something new again. We had a rival assassin in the level with 47, competing for kills, trying to take the targets down.
And
you
new
had
targets,
to get there
right?
first,
We had
right?
like
returning
targets from
characters,
Dubai and from across the world of assassination. It was really cool to see them.
Yes. So hopefully over time, the sins now. We should make it clear if you're thinking, what on earth is these 7 Deadly Sins? This was premium post-launch content. And we also we really went all in on the sins being the stage for the whole month's content, right? So we also had the Elusive Targets that are not premium. They are part of the seasonal content, which is free if you own the game. Right? The Elusive Target is included with the base game, you could say.
Mm.
And they were also based on these sins. So we had them sort of very thematic. We had this ambition that we tried to explain at the very start about having all players included and involved with the sin, whether they choose to buy the premium content or not. You still felt as though there was a theme running through of envy, of gluttony, of lust, sloth, pride, or greed, and ultimately we of course have wrath.
Yeah,
which I said straight away and just started screaming and shouting about. But it's not been a surprise for a while, right?
No, I think we actually
we had the order from day one, pretty much.
And you could just Google 7 Deadly Sins and see what 7 they are, and then you can figure out. But one thing I think we did, what was really cool, was also, as you said, all the other content was thematically wrapped around this 7 Deadly Sin. If you were not playing the premium content, you will still be part of the season of Envy, for instance, which is the current one right now. So everyone was like aboard the trip on this journey through the 7 Deadly Sins, through various content. Which is really cool. Also cool for content creation. When we did contracts, we also asked the creators and the community creators to be creative within this theme, and we've done that pretty. I think we have some very good contracts out there.
Absolutely. So we are here today, of course, to reveal the new season. We want to talk about what the premium content for the Season of Wrath will look like. I can see chat saying, come on, start the trailer. Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. The trailer is ready. I think, do we have screens to tease a little bit while we talk about it? Or are we going to just jump in straight away?
We have screens, but let's open them up. We can see them here before they see them.
Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit of live selection here. So we do want to talk a little bit about the content, what you can expect. We can start by saying, not that one, that Dartmoor is the focus for the contract.
I'm getting super confused.
There's too many things going on here. Okay, that one.
Yes.
So let's not yet, but let's just start. So what we're seeing so far is that we're going to Dartmoor for the Wrath DLC. It's Dartmoor by night, so it's a time of day change. The mana, or I think it's the mana, right?
It is mansion mana.
Is fully accessible, and actually the majority of the action, let's say, takes place inside of the mana, which has been reworked somewhat. It will be you'll recognize it, but it will look different. And the reason that we've done that is because, as you have said already, Clemens, is that they're coming for you. So we can show you the first small tease now that you'll see a little bit more of in the trailer. You're in Dartmoor, and you essentially are having to defend the mana.
You have to defend the mana.
The mana, you will, in this escalation, you will go through 3 stages. So it's a traditional escalation, you might say, where each stage will escalate with increasingly difficult combat challenges to take on. And I think we should actually just jump into the trailer. Then we can talk about it a little bit more. Let the trailer show what's what. So
sit back.
If you have your world exclusive voice, Clemens.
Yeah. World premiere.
There we go. This is
on your feet. Drawn. But don't worry. I'm here. I've always been here for you. I have felt you need to let go. Desire to unleash your wrath. Now is the time. They are coming. coming for you.
There you go.
Boom.
The Wrath Termination
That's the name. Yes.
is the final escalation in the 7 Deadly Sins content. As you can see, there is a lot going on in that trailer. We'll run it again at the end of the stream.
It'll be live on all channels in 15 minutes.
Yes.
So you can watch it everywhere.
Check YouTube and the socials. This is a really exciting escalation. It's
Yeah.
a really exciting ending to the 7 Deadly Sins campaign with, as you would expect, 3 stages. The combat difficulty escalates in terms of the type of enemies that you'll take on once they've sent up the signal flare to trigger the attack, right? They are coming for you very much.
Yeah, and you basically have to plan, adapt, and survive. And you have limited resources, so you have to be smart, but you still can plan out like almost Home Alone edition, set up traps and take out the waves one by one. And it's really cool because they also, it's just great. And looking forward to people experiencing it because we have had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Absolutely. So this is all about sort of defending the mana, defending yourself against the relentless enemies that are coming after you. But it's going to be strategic. You need to have a good understanding of sort of Clement said plan, right? It's about planning. It's about setting traps. It's about being strategic about when and where you sort of you take action. And different types of enemies are going to drop different items that you can use around the map to get more firepower, to turn the tables on the enemies that are attacking you, right? There's a lot of strategy that goes into it.
A lot, yeah.
I saw a lot of people in the forum asking for like going out with a bang and having a crazy big machine gun and just massacring everyone. Yeah. That's not how this is going to start. Depending on how you use your firepower that you can get access to, it might end up that way, and you might have moments like that. At some point, you are going to have to sort of unleash your wrath, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people coming for you. You need to make sure you've got the armor and the enemy, not armor, the ammunition.
Yeah, you don't have that much
prepared.
You have to prepare and plan.
Yes.
Your moves. And first time you're gonna see the flare go up when they enter the grounds, the Dartmoor grounds. It looks so cool. And really, Dartmoor at night really shines through when you see this red flag going way up because the game is freaking beautiful. Sorry, my French. And then it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And then you know they're coming, and you just have to be ready.
Yes. So you do have some time to prepare, and then it all kicks off.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Again, it digs into the theme of Wrath, of sort of having this ability to sort of let loose a little bit more. You always feel a little bit under pressure, let's say, because you are the one that's sort of being hunted, more so than having the time to sort of, in complete calmness, plan your attack, let's say. It's a little bit more pressurized this time.
Yeah.
Because you know that there's going to be people coming after you.
And they will go to their goal. They have a very clear goal where they're going, so you can't just you have to take them out before they get to your body. And so you have to be some sort of, there's a pressure because there's it will end if you don't do it correctly or you let them slip through.
Of course.
Your defense.
Yes. Yeah. There are some very obvious things we're trying to not spoil here. We always envisioned the 7 Deadly Sins as almost a like an addendum to the story, right? It's an important part of the game, of the campaign, but it's completely optional. It's some of those things will start to unravel as you play it. You may already have some ideas of what that could be. We will also talk more about that either in an extra stream or later on once you've had time to play the content, make your own conclusions, etc., etc., etc.
That's why the extra stream is always a bit like behind of if you say like that, because then we know that the majority of players who watch the stream will have played the content, so because the designers and the creators will go into spoiler territory if you haven't played it. So
Yes.
so look for it.
So we'll look into how people discuss it, what you think is happening, what's going on, and then of course over time we'll make that clear. But we don't want to go into too many details. Some of it, if you're very intense and look at every single frame, you can probably figure out most of it. But we'll leave an element of surprise.
Yeah.
But we can show you the unlocks again. I saw a request for that.
But also, just one quick note: when you look, when you see the trailer again with the info we just gave you, you will probably see some of the things like with the traps. And stuff like
so
that.
in 10 minutes,
we gave you some knowledge that maybe you can use. But let's take a look at the items.
Let's see the unlocks again. You go.
There's the Temper suit, and of course the escalation, the Wrath Termination. But then there is the Shaskar Beast, and the Raw Flash Grenade. These are the Wrath synth-themed items that you get with Wrath on October 26th. That's Tuesday next week. You'll be able to get these new items, including the new DLC escalation. The Shaskar Beast is pure fun. It's very good. Looks cool.
Yep. So we're really excited.
Terminator, yeah.
As is the dev team, of course, to hear feedback about what players think about this. Of course, once you've played it, the feedback will maybe be different, but initial impressions of the suits, the unlocks, the trailer, what you've seen and heard about the content, will obviously be super keen to hear that. Same for when the content goes live, which, as you said, is October 26th. So if you own the 7 Deadly Sins collection, this will of course be included. You just need to go on the store, download it, and then you can play it from there. Look at that catch.
Magic, the Matrix moves over here.
If you don't own the collection and you're only interested in Wrath, you can of course buy it individually for the equivalent of $5, which you get everything that's on the screen here, or down. Let's try and figure this out. Down. Idiots. Yeah. Yes. So that is Wrath. We talked about the unlocks. We talked about having to plan, adapt, and survive.
Yeah.
And we talked about where it may or maybe fits in with some of the story, but it's not essential to the story.
No.
So, unless we have any extra screens to show, I'm shaking my head at that one.
Yeah, we don't.
Stuff will reveal itself. It's great. In 10 minutes' time, you can watch the trailer again.
And at the end of the stream, we'll show it one more time, just
yes,
so you
of
can
course.
see 3 times in 1 hour, man. That's great.
Okay.
We're just looking at our agenda and see where we're going now. So, let's move ahead a bit.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about a bit of what's coming in the season of Wrath. So, before we do that, we have a little video, but it's what we call it a returning nightmare. Enjoy.
So, for a limited time, the Mills Reverie escalation
It's back.
is back.
A lot of you have probably played it already, maybe in Hitman 2. It was very, very... a lot of people like and love that escalation, so it felt that Halloween is soon. It's in a couple of days.
Yes.
So it makes perfect sense that it's will rejoin the Hitman, come into Hitman 3. So the Mills Reverie is coming, and with it 2 great unlocks. We have the tactical wetsuit, and the Bat Shuriken. We're getting an image in a second.
So one thing to say is that the way that you unlock the items has been, I think, adjusted, right?
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more streamlined than you might remember them.
Yeah.
It also gives Hitman 3 players the chance to unlock them, to experience the Halloween event. Orson's Nightmare is sort of a new tagline that we think fits quite well to this. Yeah. So that is starting with
the Season of Wrath.
Yes. So on October 26th, this will be active for all players to enjoy, to get the unlocks. The Bat Shuriken, especially Halloween themed, very nice. And it's also a super unique escalation, right?
It is really.
It's very much about doing very unusual things, fitting into the idea of you're inside his nightmare. You are sort of the cause of his nightmare.
Yeah.
Sean too. Orson. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And it's sort of a Kickstarter next to the Season of Wrath to have this Halloween event coming into the game as well. Yeah, absolutely. People might have already played it. If you haven't played it, then we need to give some background to that as well. Yeah. So, yeah. Halloween is coming to Hitman 3.
Hitman 3, and it's
on Hawke's Bay in New Zealand, so
there's many new players to look forward to. Probably maybe haven't played it that can really look forward to something special because it's a very unique escalation, and it's when you play it, it's super weird, but in a good way. The set dressing of Hawke's Bay it's amazing. It's clearly a Halloween special. So
enjoy it while you can.
Alrighty,
Clemens, what's next?
So now we're going into the current season, which is still the Season of Envy. And we had the feature contracts created by some people from IOI, aka us. And they are already in the game. Today, 3 new contracts are coming into the game by some community members. But first, let's highlight. I just want to quickly highlight the 3 created by IOI. So those, yes, not those. Take them down. We're just getting the right pictures. Those, yes. Because no audio. We're back. Alright, we have audio. Hello. We're just gonna do it again. I don't know where it cut off. So these 3 contracts, just going a bit back, were created by 3 people, developers from IOI Interactive. We have Family Matters, was created by Johan from QA. We have DJ X Party, was created by Mitya, who is a lead level designer. And then we have Ross, who created the Follicle Paradox, and he's a BI engineer. The cool thing is that these guys were tasked by creating 3 contracts in the name of Envy, or the theme of Envy. But Mitya, he really wanted to make a Halloween contract. So I gave him free range, said, you know what, you can do that. And the cool thing is that I have an interview with one of them lined up. But first, let's just quickly go through the 2 others. We start with the Follicle Paradox, which is created by Ross. And he had a very specific, unique way of doing it because he was very interested in the loop of the characters, how you got up to the roof and how you got to get the sniper kill in. And like he had a very, very cool plan. But he wrote a lot. So what I'm gonna do is that I asked him to write about what they did to create the contract, and I'll put this into a blog post and share it because there's so much good here that just me reading it would be weird. So I would rather just post it because he has some very, very cool things, and I think there's a lot of in here for contract fans that they will find interesting. So let's just go to Michas, who's a lead level designer, and he really loves Berlin, and he created DJ X Party, and he very much also his was about the loop of the NPCs. So if you play it the way he intended, he invites you on this very, very cool loop. And he also wrote a lot of things about, you can see here, about his contract. And there's like, it's so cool, the things that's in it. And you can see here, it's a whole piece of paper. But I will put it into a blog post again also for you guys to read. Because for people that are fans of contracts, I think this is really, really awesome. And they put a lot of work and effort into these contracts. But luckily, I got to interview Johan because he had 5 minutes to spare yesterday. And I asked him about his contract and also the contract he picked. So it's a short video with the interview with one of the creators. Give it a go.
Hey, Johan, welcome. Thank you so much for participating in this featured contracts batch, both creating and picking the featured contract for going into the game today. But before we talk about your contract, let's talk a bit about you. Who are you?
Yes. Hi, I'm Johan. Most people online know me as Pepper. I frequent a lot of Hitman streams, both lurking and participating. I am QA here at IO Interactive, and I am mostly responsible for testing and breaking stuff.
Awesome. So you know your way around the game, one could say, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that.
And you do, and clearly you can. We saw that in your contract. So you created the one went to the game a couple of weeks ago. It was called Family Matters in Dartmoor. Before we go to the one you picked, can we talk about the one you created, Family Matters? What was the process here?
So the process for me was pretty easy because during development of Hitman 3, I worked a lot on the Dartmoor level, and I worked a lot close to the NPCs and having to listen to them. That made me build up some kind of petty despise against the character Patrick Carlisle, having to listen to him over and over and over again, being a douche against people. So in the end, I basically ended up with me always taking him out if I didn't have to listen to him. And having the opportunity of actually making a featured contract where the goal is to take him out felt kind of obvious or easy for me. I think though that just having him was a bit too easy. Like just going in, killing him, and then running out would be possible to do within less than 2 minutes. And I know the players are way more experienced in how to do these in proper ways. So I had to choose something else. And for that fact, I chose Alexa, his grandmother, because it's very easy of being envious of people who have money. So it was mostly just of hopping on that train and using that as as something to be envious of, and like taking out the old money, like letting them do this and that through years, and like having this as an ending of this.
Mm-hmm. It just also shines through that the envy really is a part of this mission as well, your contract as well, which is cool because that's also the theme of the current month, the current season, which was really cool. And there was also the task I gave you. Only Misha, the only one who actually diverted from that and said he wanted to make a Halloween contract. I'm like, okay, go nuts, man, go nuts. So Johan, thank you for that. But you were also in charge of picking one of the community created featured contracts for this month, for the Season of Envy. So which one did you pick?
I picked one by the community member Hamushi, named Conan equals Shinichi, and it is also based on the Dartmoor level, but comparing it to mine, I chose it because it gives you a rather big tour of the map. The targets are spread out around the entire level, both on the bottom, second, and top floor, which means that you actually have to traverse the level to complete it. And I actually had to take almost 2 full laps around the entire mansion to get everyone out. And I think having that as an aspect is really interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's also give that homage to your level, and I saw like when you picked that, I was like, okay, of course he picks it up. Well, look, that's really cool. And it's a cool thing is players can play today. It's going to be featured with a badge that goes out today. So Johan, I just want to thank you so much for taking part of this. I know it's you guys are extremely busy with a lot of stuff, so I appreciate all the time you guys put into this and the effort of creating a very cool contract and picking one that's equally fun. Thank you so much, man, and I'll see you on the flip side.
See ya.
Thanks, man.
Hope you enjoyed that little short interview with Johan, and it's great that he had time. The other guys, unfortunately, were very busy, so they couldn't join, unfortunately. But they still also wrote a lot about the one they made and also the one they picked. So, but I will not cheat the other people, the other creators, for not having a little 15 seconds of fame. So, Ross, he picked one that's called Mirror Match. Chongqing, by Dimatic, I don't know. Trying my best. And he, when we, there was so many good contracts on there, and I sat down with them and we went through a lot of them. And thankfully, there's some very great community members out there that are highlighting and almost structuring all the contracts. So it's super easy for us to go in and find them all, so we don't miss anyone. That's the most important thing, that everyone feels that they have a chance, and they do. But the cool thing is here that Ross picked this one because he saw Mirror Match. That was the first thing he saw. Like, oh, is this fighting related? He loves fighting games. And like, we don't know, let's put in the batch of testing. So we added a lot of contracts into the testing batch and we started playing them. And this one really, he really enjoyed this one and wanted to highlight this. He has a lot of reasoning to it. I will add to the so-and-so blog post. But I want to say one thing, that he says that he thinks that this contract is really, he loves contracts that encourage and reward you for exploring and trying to find disguises in the level. So this is a very one where you need to, try around to go a lot of do a lot of hitmanning, and he really liked it, and it was very. He also liked Chongqing. He also made his own contracts there, so you will see that the ones they created in is also the ones they picked. Funnily enough, that's probably their favorite locations. I didn't say anything about that. So congratulations, Dimatic, for being featured, and also of course for Hamushi. The last one that's also coming into the game today is picked by Micha, and he picked Crime of Envy, surprisingly in Berlin, where he also made his contract. So maybe you see a pattern here. And he wrote so much content, but he thinks that it's very, very cool, this contract. He really enjoyed it because both targets are in areas that forces me to explore the environment and dive deeper into the intricacies of the Berlin level. So he was really, really, and he played it with the level designer's eyes, I guess, and also like the way it played out. Again, he also wrote a lot, and I will add it to the post as well, so you can read all the details about the creations. That's the three that's in the game now. I think we have the money shot with all three of them. So, and you can play them right now in Hitman 3. I know they just pressed the go live button right before the stream, so they are in the game right now, and I hope you will enjoy them because it was a really fun process to work with these three guys to pick the three, and also the three they picked has been a very cool experience, and they also really liked it, and they were unfortunate that they couldn't make the interviews. So, but we will give them their fame, and all of us will we'll share everything. So what they wrote.
There's a question in chat about how are featured contracts chosen. Can you spiel that off?
Yeah. So the process varies some time to time, but usually the most normal process is that we open a thread, we see all the entries, and because there can be some months there's a lot of entries, and of course we don't have time to play them all. So what we do is that we ask about why they want them to be featured and what makes this contract unique. So we read those, and if there's a lot of contracts, we can't play them all. So we read those and like, okay, this sounds interesting, but does it work? So we put it in a testing batch, and we go in and we test the highlighted. Usually we put in a batch of 10 various contracts on all platforms. I didn't tell the creators, the three pickers, the three developers. I didn't tell them who have been featured before or on what platforms they were. We put them all on a dev server so they could play them all. So regardless, there was no picking favorites. Two of them actually picked the same creator, 2 different contracts. They didn't know. So I had to ask one of them to I said, you cannot pick this guy twice or person twice because we cannot feature the same person twice. That will be unfair. So that's the process. Usually there's so many good that it's really hard to actually just to pick 10. We could easily pick 20 because a lot of them are really, really good. But then we start playing them, and then some are just maybe a little better, or some of them are fun. But the cool thing is here we had these 3 developers to like look at the missions or the contracts in very different eyes than I usually do.
Yeah.
Which highlight and Johan had some great points where he said something about this, like he liked the tour around the manor, that you get to see all the levels of the manor, like instead of going up and taking one target out and go out. I like that part, and like you can feel his passion. And same with Misha was like this. He really liked to explore these less explored areas of Berlin, but in a manner that makes sense to the contract, so it was still fun to play. So it was nice to hear their stories, and that's why I asked him to write it all down so we could give that information to you guys.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So I hope that answered the question.
Very long answer for.
There was also a question about if there's going to be featured contracts on non-Hitman 3 levels, because right now we are focusing on Hitman 3, right?
Yeah.
And there will be, most likely. But we wanted to make sure that we have like behind the scenes we have a certain number of featured contract unlocks that we want to release. I think we're up to 60 now with the Ducky Sniper. Was the last one.
63.
Yeah, but I mean the milestone, the unlock is 60, right?
Yeah.
There's at least one more, which you'll find out about on Tuesday. What that is for the Hitman 3 featured contracts, and then it's sort of then it's fair game for everything else. Should we continue with featured contracts? So let us know if you would like to see non-Hitman 3 levels as featured contracts. There are already lots in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those that were featured in the Hitman 2 days, I believe.
There's a bunch of
are still on the featured contracts list, so you can play them. There are unlocks attached to those as well, but the new unlocks are for Hitman 3. So there's more of that to come. Find out on Tuesday what that next featured contracts unlock is, because we'll be hitting it. No, wait, am I getting ahead of myself here? There is a featured contract unlock on Tuesday that we reveal, right?
Yeah, there's.
Okay,
there's.
perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
It's in the roadmap video, so I really hope there is.
Yes, great.
There is one.
Perfect.
100%.
Right.
There was a good question
Yes.
that people ask, why only 3? I think that's a good question, because in the past we've been featured 10, but now we have rewards behind them. And we don't want players to sit down and play 200 featured contracts to get a reward. So it's actually, we want to make it less, but we want to make it them better. So we also use more time in finding the 3 instead of finding a batch of 10, for instance.
Yeah, I think it also lets us do interesting things like having the developers choose them.
Exactly. There's many cool benefits of having a little fewer, but then have them to be a bigger beat or a bigger thing to make them. So I hope that answers your question.
I think it's worked quite well to have 3. I think it sort of depends though, right? We always knew that with featured contracts, there's no pleasing everyone.
No,
right?
I know.
Some people would like more, some people would like less. Sometimes there's a theme that people don't enjoy. I think it's worked quite well that they're themed to the season of sin.
Yeah.
Whether it be envy or whatever it is. Lust, you name the sin, right? Because that gave a lot of free reign, whereas before we picked the theme and it was a bit more restrictive. And there were dark days, Clemens, when we did fiberwire only contracts. But
10 fiberwire only contracts.
The less we say about that, the better. We learned and we moved on. So
we learned on this. That was a rough month.
That was thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, we do see the feedback.
Yeah.
So that was revised. But I think that one thing about, to sum up the feature contract, I think it's really nice to have them wrapped around these themes, because we see people are so creative. Within the contracts mode, I think they can shine these, if it's gluttony or if it's lust or if it's even, I can't wait for Wrath to see what people go bonkers with explosions or
hopefully
just go mad. The crazier the better. So just get cooking. Can't wait. There should be a criteria that it have to be involve explosions. It doesn't have to. You can do whatever you want within the Wrath team.
But bonus points for explosions.
Bonus points for explosions.
From me.
from me too. So that's no. I really hope that you enjoy the 3 contracts picked now, and also the 3 that was created. From the feedback I read online on Hitman Forum and Reddit, that the people really enjoyed the 3 IOI created. So I gave that love back to the team and to the 3 guys, and they were like super happy, because they were also nerve-wracking, because it's a little putting yourself out there. Being a level designer, it's like, shit, I don't hope that they
Can't really get it wrong, right?
so
Pressure's
that's what
Pressure is on if you're a level
Exactly.
designer designing a contract. It needs to be good.
And he
So,
was like, he was
kudos
really
to you.
nervous and asked me. I think he asked me a lot of times, "Do you think it's good enough?" And it was really fun. So like, yeah, dude, it's great. Don't worry. And it was nice to see that it was also enjoyed by you guys. So it's nice.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Featured contracts. Wrap. Next. Not wrap as in M&M, as in Father Christmas in a box. Done. Ship it. Any other business, Clemens?
Yes.
What's the business?
I saw a question. Actually, I just want to
Go.
answer very quickly, and I know
Question.
that the man of the van will be very happy when I say this. Someone asked me, "Who made these? What are these posters?" Well, Martin is glad you asked. I guarantee it. It's Displayed's location posters. You can find them on Displayed.com. I think it's .com. Yeah. Under the Hitman collection, it's location posters on metal. So pedal to the metal. And there's a bunch of awesome ones in there. Go give it a look. They're pretty cool. I think they're cool. I like them. So that was I saw that question. Another thing, we got new merch.
Other side.
Other side. Got a new merch. The Duck collection. We got like cups and mobile covers and t-shirts and sweatshirts. You can bring your Duck game. Now is time to dug out. If you are into that, I don't know if that's a thing, but it's actually really cool. I have it on right now. It's nice wearing this little subtle duck. No one knows what it is, but it's an explosive one. I can guarantee it. So we got that new arrivals. We also got some more arrivals on the US store. We got some mouse pads and some journals.
Cool stuff.
So go out, check out the IOI merchandise store to update your wardrobe.
Yeah, we got asked about I remember endless amounts of live stream. IOI merch when? IOI merch when?
Now you got it.
So if you have ideas or suggestions, feel free to put them out there wherever, whenever we're listening. We can add them to our own piles of ideas of what's coming up on the merch store. There's some cool stuff in the works.
And we see the Providence metal pin. We hear you, and I'm shouting to the merchandise guys. Let's get those in.
For what?
Providence pin.
Oh, the Providence pin. But there's the Providence T-shirt.
There's
that
Providence
looks like
t-shirt.
it looks like it has a pin.
Yeah.
If you
true.
want.
That's
Timothy is on it. He
That's-
wants all
that's-
caps. He's raging. He's
I know,
unleashing his
Timmy
wrath.
Mark. I know it. We are. So you can,
Yeah.
We have Providence bottles, I think. Right?
Providence
On the
pin,
US,
Providence pin.
on the US store, you can.
I like that everybody wants the Providence pin. But Providence is. You want to align yourself with Providence? Really?
They're scumbags, man.
Really? You should be having like Fleur de Lis. Come on.
That's the real OGs.
Come on.
Thirdly, all the way.
I want the pin. No. I'm gonna go the opposite to you.
Pin.
I'm gonna campaign against the pin.
Okay.
No Providence pin.
I'll make a poll.
The
Let's
IOI
see.
pin. IOI pin.
We'll do a vote.
We'll do a vote
Yeah.
internally at my desk.
Internally and my desk.
No.
In the middle of our desks.
Um,
Sorry, sidetrack. Yes, so that was the doggy. I just wanted the doggy merch collection.
Fleur de Lis pin. Ah, come on. Come on.
Pins in general. Let's do
Right.
it. No. No more lollygag.
It's so strange seeing my name in the game. That's how it is, Georgiekins. Georgie Kens? Georgie Kens. My name's in Hitman Absolution a lot. I'm the evil guy that you kill. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
The only Clemens there is in Hitman is fiddling with a.
Yeah, you're in the
moped.
game.
The moped.
Okay, the Wrath. No, because it's on Sapienza. We need to make a contract that's Kill Clemens. Doesn't it exist already?
It's House Built of Sand.
Somebody did it already, right?
Yeah.
There is a contract for
There's a
killing
contract
you.
killing me.
Yes. Did
Yeah.
we feature it?
Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah. Okay. Find the
saw
feature
it like,
contract
okay,
where you
yeah.
kill Clemens.
Yeah, it was a bonus one. I just added it because it's great. Kill me. That's fun.
Okay.
All right.
I see people asking questions, but we haven't started questions yet, so not gonna happen. Although gamers, let's start questions. Gamers Eat Crisp says, at IO Interactive, why did you get rid of the Hitman 2 door?
It's still here.
It's right there. It's there. It's off camera. You can't see it. It's
So,
there.
next question.
It's not a door. It's a poster. We've been through this. Hitman 2 door merch. Oh man. Tell you what, the only pin I will allow is a Hitman 2 door pin.
Okay.
If we have a pin that's a Hitman 2 door, that would be like the most unique niche. No one knows what that is apart from 18 people on the internet.
know what that is.
Yes.
But it would be worth
The
it.
Hitman 2 door is always off camera.
Yes. We walk out of this.
People like, what the fuck? No one knows what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's. We've been waiting with this little questions button thing for ages, so let's just put it on. Hitman 2 door displayed. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Get it happening. Let's do the questions thing. Let's make it happen. Put the little button thing so people can ask questions. Okay.
Now
we
it's time.
we are officially open. What is this new meme? It's not a meme because it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Okay, so we are ending the stream at 4 o'clock CEST. That's 11 minutes from now. So we have some curated questions. There was a whole bunch of questions on the Hitman 2 forum, I was going to say. The Hitman forum questions thread.
Hitman 2 door forum.
Yes. Throw them at us either on Twitch or somewhere else, and we will answer as many as we can. Yeah. So let's go back to Gamers Eat Crisps, who says, Travis said it's right there just a moment ago. Now we're saying it doesn't exist. That's the myth of the Hitman 2 door, my friend. Does the Halloween event support VR? Gonna have to ask about that. Don't know.
That's a good question.
VR Halloween. I will ask and find out. Hope so. Travis and his doublethink. Trademark. If you can talk about it, will Hitman 3 be available on next year? That's a good question. What we've said is that Hitman 3 is exclusive to Epic for 12 months. We have not got anything else to share just yet. But we will. When is the roadmap? The roadmap is coming
Tuesday. And I gotta say, it's the best roadmap I've made. Putting out there.
Okay.
Straight up. It's a beast. Not a Shaska beast, but it's a beast.
I think this is the first roadmap. I haven't seen the end of it.
It's good.
I haven't seen the end yet. Clemens is so happy about this. He goes out and does filming on location and has all sorts of drama and stories to tell about about what happens in the local area. It's not made the news yet, but it's close. Yeah.
Only got fined once by the police. Just saying.
Clemens beast mode.
Yes.
Apparently so. Yes.
I grew a beard for Wrath roadmap.
Yeah.
So now I can cut it off.
There's a question from Fumanova who says, can I elaborate exactly when it's been 12 months since the Epic Game Store launch? The Epic Game Store launch was alongside the Hitman 3 launch, which was January 20th, 2021. Mm-hmm. That was about 10 months ago. Mm-hmm. Can't believe it's been 10 months ago.
It's fast. It's crazy.
Yes. Contracts mode for Dartmoor map. I keep seeing this, and that's not going to happen immediately because it wouldn't make sense with the current setup of it. If you know what we've said already, that the camera's dead.
Camera.
Can you go to full screen questions?
Lost camera.
Yeah, so we can do audio. So welcome to I think the third or fourth edition of the IOI Insider podcast. My name is Travis, and I'll be with you for the next 8 minutes to carry on buying time until the camera works again.
There we go.
There we go. Thank you again. Goodbye from IOI Insider podcast. ASMR Travis. That's terrible. Right.
We saw some.
I was confused. No, contracts mode. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense because you need to have like targets to mark. It doesn't make sense when they're designed to attack you. Maybe we could do other. Yeah. So in the current setup, no, it's not possible. Don't expect that on Tuesday. That's not there. But yeah, I think that answers the question.
We also saw a question about. Might be a easy one, but there was a bit people asking the best place to report bugs. It's just we through our player support page simply. It's the best place where we have a great support team that will try to help you fix your issues. Probably can get a link in chat,
yes.
Or else it's just there. It's the best.
Yep.
And then we've seen that there's many questions about plans for content in 2022. Yes, we got plans, but nothing to reveal yet.
No, we also said last stream that we want to focus on current content, what we're looking at right now. Our focus on 7 Deadly Sins. And we purposefully keep things secret and surprise so that we can reveal them and announce them and get lots of attention on them for the health of the game. So we can make news when we want to make news. Right now, we want to make news about 7 Deadly Sins. We want to make sure everyone knows it's coming to an end. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of what's happening with that. And it's sort of the sort of boring internal term for it is to control the message a little bit. We don't want to be talking about too many different things at once because it gets difficult to follow what we're doing and when it's released, when it ends, etc. Yes, forum questions. Do we have forum questions?
These are from the forum.
I also saw people said on the last stream about promoting fan-made websites, and one of the questions was about if there's plans of how and when we do that. But hopefully it was not necessarily that there's going to be some event or there's going to be some. We're not planning a specific thing or an activity around that. It was more to acknowledge that we do have a lot of fan-made websites that do offer things to people that are playing the game that is really useful for them, and that we support those things like hit maps, allowing people to know where there are items in the game, on which level of the building and stuff like that, where's the hammers. There's obviously speedrun community who organizes events for things like roulette rivals and have their own sort of roadmaps of activity. There's a whole bunch of other things, fan contracts as well, Ryan. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there's
and
one
we
that's
support them as they go on, and if we see them and we tweet them and stuff like that. But we're not planning a big, I don't know, website with it on or something like that. We obviously see other people do that. So recently Remedy did it with Control, right? They opened a community section and they've got fan art in there and videos and stuff like that, which is of course an inspiration, but it's not currently on our radar.
That's also a good question here, Travis. I saw that. And you've been here when this was a thing. What map took the longest to make in the world of Assassination?
Yeah. I think that was the first question that was on the forum.
Yeah.
And I think I haven't asked around. My immediate answer was just Paris, because it was the one that sort of, it was like a proof of concept for how do we go from the Absolution days to a big sandbox location where you can do whatever you want, right? And there was, way back in the day, Paris was absolutely huge. It was almost like a whole city. There was once a time where you could there was like the fashion show and then like a town square, and then further back was like small streets, and you could go up a tower and you could snipe Novikov from the stairs, like like if you were really 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 smart from like a tower miles away, you could snipe him. But it was way too big. It didn't work. It didn't fit. So it was way too ambitious. That was like 2000. I don't know, 13 or 14 or something. There's some really. I actually have a screenshot from like one of the OG. I think it was even before the Notorious closed alpha, and I was top of the leaderboards because back then Novikov was the only target. Dahlia was optional, which meant if you want to be top of the leaderboard, just ignore it. The game was very much in development, right? So it was like, okay, what's the cheesiest way to top the leaderboard? Man, that was me. So it's like screen grab. I can use that for like years to come.
You got the
so at one point I was top of the Paris leaderboards. Nobody else can test me on that.
I also see a quick question here from people asking Glacier 3. And actually, it's a fun story because a few years ago, we stopped calling it Glacier 2 and simply called it Glacier because it's an ongoing and ever-improving engine. So we don't need numbers on it. It will just ever evolve.
Yeah, I think the fact that there isn't a Glacier 3 doesn't mean that we are not working on the engine. I say we have a very talented team. That's not me.
They constantly improve the engine.
Exactly. And then I remember specifically that one of the reasons for not adding numbers was, when do you decide that it needs a new number? When do you reach the point of Glacier 3 or Glacier 4 or Glacier 5, and what does it really mean, the difference between 3 and 4?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
And
now you can also
there's not going to be a Glacier 3 because right now there's not even a Glacier 2. We just have Glacier, and that is the technology that we have that is having. I think every single day it's more capable, it's more powerful. It's going to power the future games that we are making. I'm not the best person to talk about that in detail, but that's just to answer that question, right? The fact that you're not seeing Glacier 3 shouldn't mean that the future games that we make are not more capable of doing more things. They are. There's big improvements being worked on. maybe at some point we need to get people on here that can talk about that.
I think that would be very
Um,
interesting because it's limited what we know about the behind the curtains.
Yep.
But you can also, as you can see from Hitman 1 to Hitman 3, you can see that it's constantly evolving to become prettier and sharper and run better. And like it's like you can follow the progression going through Hitman 1 to 3 and just see how much it actually evolves within a set of years. So Glacier.
Yep.
Put it on the bumper sticker.
Question from Fumanovo is, can you talk about IO week? Yes, that's planned for, I think, next week. We're going to have a blog post up about what IOI week is. It was something that happened recently at the studio. It's cool. It's great. Fumanovo was involved, of course. Who is, if you don't know Fumanovo, he's in the building somewhere, I would assume. So, yes. We'll talk about that. But it's nothing for players, nothing to get too excited about. It's not new content. It's not anything like that.
No, it's more fun and like what's called R&R kind of.
Yeah. So
event for people in here. It's
yes.
Great. It's really fun.
Yeah, we are right on time. I know I'm seeing a lot of the same question being put in. We do have specific things that we want to talk about this week. We obviously can't answer all questions, but we will try to. Travis gets really excited when someone asks a question he's allowed to directly acknowledge and answer. I mean, it's a choice. It's a choice what we choose to answer and what we don't. And again, we have had streams in the past where we have answered and given answers to various different topics. And repeating those answers doesn't make sense every stream. So we try and answer something different, something new. And when we have updates to ongoing questions about things that are being repeatedly asked, and we will of course share them. That's where we are there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's the Season of Wrath starts on Tuesday. Just gonna stop him. No, I'm just kidding. The Season of Wrath starts on Tuesday and it kicks off the Season of Wrath. October 26th, alongside the roadmap and everything. Look forward to that. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, and then the Wrath Termination is really, really cool. So we will run the trailer one more time, and I think that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you
see you
so
next
much.
time.
Yeah. See you next time, and take care.
On your feet. Your honor. But don't worry. I am here. I've always been here for you. I have felt your need to let go. Desire to unleash your wrath. Now is the time. They are coming for